What's up, world? Simon Phoenix coming at you one more time, mid-August 2019. Just wanted to give you one more look at a wonderful pistol that I have. You've guys seen my Sig Sauer P320, aka Greta, before, but after 7 long months, I finally got her back together again. It's a pistol on your right for those that are not aware of it. And this wonderful, wonderful coder was able to match to my digital urban camo backpack absolutely perfectly. It is an amazing piece right now. Was also able to coat my PL Mini Model 1 Light that is matched with it. Shouts out to Pratsky Gunworks, of course, for the wonderful stippling job that they did. Let's get into this real quick. To your left is the same coder that did a fantastic battle worn very recently to Hannah. That's my Glock 19. That's my bug out gun that I keep in my vehicle for whenever it's necessary. You can't go wrong with a Glock when it comes to an emergency bug out situation, as much as I love my SIG. So I'm really excited about it. Let's get into this. So a bit of a rant here, I'm not going to lie to you. This video is really being made to show the differences in terms of how to do Cerakoting right and how to do it wrong. And I don't mean just in terms of how to be able to perform Cerakoting tasks. I'm not an expert at all, don't claim to be. But I do know when quality work has been done and when it's been run right and when it's not been done properly. So about 7 months ago, I had dropped off my compact slide off to a coating company in the state of Michigan that has been world renowned for normally doing some fantastic Cerakoting work. In fact, they'd done a couple of my rifles before in the past couple of years. And as their name grew and got bigger and bigger, like with things that grow, sometimes they have growing pains. And so instead of trying to bash them or anything like that, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say basically and talk about, when you have growing pains, sometimes you got to make some adjustments, and the best feedback is direct feedback. So I'll just leave it at that there. Let's go into this. So this digital camo actually is a 3-color camo. I believe it is with a sniper gray, a midnight black, as well as a charcoal gray that are been used as contrast for the particular slide. The coating is actually very, very new, and the sharp lines will actually start to blend in over time as it wears on. I just got this back over the weekend, so it's only been about 5 or 6 days. But it's been in a fantastic condition right now. Again, Pratsky Gunworks did some hand stippling with this particular slide that they usually do always has done some fantastic work. And but my coder actually also did this PL Mini. With the original coder, unfortunately, the way that this slide came out actually 3 weeks ago, as opposed to looking like this, was a Minecraft looking Pac-Man 80s video game digital, which had this that was an extremely light gray with a bit of black and of all colors red, like a bright Minecraft red or Ferrari red to it, which was absolutely not what I wanted. I was just so appalled at the type of job that they did that I didn't even want to bother talking to them to try and get it back. I had waited over 6 months to get the slide back, and I was not going to wait another 3 or 4 months with any excuses for them to take that again. When I got it back, it looked like something that came out of a Super NES box, as well as the weapon light, which I didn't ask to have coated as well. So the reason why this PL Mini has been coated was to get rid of this horrible coloring that was done to be able to match the slide. I'll show you what they did with the slide work originally. As you can tell, of course, weapon is safe. Magazine is clear. Nothing up my sleeve here. Nothing up my sleeve here. Perfectly safe weapon. So now that we have this apart, I'll just talk about very briefly in terms of what was really wrong with the slide originally. I have photos on Facebook about what happened with the slide, as well as a small video as to the lack of quality that this original coder had used as weapon light. So what they done is there was dry coat all over this. It was overcaked. You could tell they'd oversprayed a lot of this. There was dry coat, powder that was all over the bottom of this to the point where it was covering so much of the extractor as well as the other internal mechanisms that honestly there was no way I felt safe enough to fire this weapon in any condition whatsoever. I wasn't even going to test fire or to try it out. I just could tell after taking it apart it was actually pretty dangerous. At least to a point where at least it would not function. I just was not going to take that kind of chance with live rounds there. The barrel itself, luckily, had not been touched as I had requested, but there was just dry coat all over this area here. And on the actual weapon light itself, this you could literally peel off and find the original coating underneath. I will give serious shouts out to Olight. Because the original coder had actually taken this weapon light apart when they should not have. They had stripped out several screws, including the screws that hold on from that interchange between the pick rail and the Glock rail. As you can tell, these are very well-rounded kind of screws. They're not in the worst condition, but you could definitely tell we had to use a larger Allen key. Torx in order to be able to get them out. So, to put it back together. So I was actually pretty amazed that after 3 trips to the oven to be able to get this properly right, this light still works to this day. It still works after 100 and some odd degrees several times, stripped apart. These tabs were actually messed up. But my coder did a fantastic job putting this back together. I was actually almost resolved to just getting another light and complaining to the original coder and ask for at least some sort of refund. But again, I didn't want to talk to them any further. I just didn't want to deal with it. But the recharger still works. I was able to recharge the battery fully, and the light still functions quite well. So it just kind of goes to show you that please be careful who you decide to send your coding work for, especially for these very expensive components. Again, I am just tickled pink that this coding company was able to recover. I'll give you links and referrals down below. If you have any questions about where they were, like I said, I don't like to just publicly put people on blast. At the same time, feedback is the best way to know if you're doing something right or doing something wrong. Last bit, of course, is that they did the same thing. This new coder did the same thing with this great battle-worn look for my Glock 19, aka Hannah. As well, again, shouts out to Prasky Gunworks and myself, because I was actually able to do this part of the stippling myself, but Prasky did this as well as the Ambi mag releases. So this is my bug out gun, and fantastic work. Yeah, and I was usually not much of a Glock guy, especially after I sold my Glock 26. But I will have to say with these Gen 4, Gen 5 Glock 19s, I have actually gotten used to it. But Tim from Military Arms Channel was absolutely right. You sort of just get used to this grip. I love the profile of this grip a lot better. Much easier to hold in the hand, almost reminds you of a 1911. But once you've fired enough Glocks, you do get used to it. So that's it. So if there's any questions, again, go ahead and comment below. Let me know if questions. I'll answer them as best as I can. Thanks again for checking this out. Take care and be safe.